Welcome back to another episode of the Willie Bragg Show. Today we have a special guest, Tommy Nation Politics. Welcome back, my friend. Welcome back.
Thanks, Willie. Thanks for having me. Good to
Oh,
be back.
anytime, anytime. And I think we got quite a bit to talk about because this Tulsi Gabbard situation and her political transformation from basically Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Democrat to a Bernie Sanders supporter to this MAGA incarnation of Tulsi Gabbard. Um, so, and we both have a Tulsi connection in a sense too, because I think you say you supported her for president 2020, and I was a fervent supporter of her for vice president. So you want to go ahead and share your thoughts on this?
Absolutely, guys. So I'm a free-thinking, innovative, open-minded podcaster that was labeled in 2016 as a progressive because I believe that what Bernie said was true, that we should be able to have a government that works for all of us and not the few. Now, how does that work? Well, the people are supposed to promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. It's the preamble of the Constitution. Someone I thought was embodying those principles to the letter was someone who served her country, who took action to serve her country, someone who took action when dishonesty was happening at uh, uh, the DNC party politics. The Hillary Clinton was stealing and rigging the election against Bernie Sanders. She took action and she tried to do the right thing, as far as I know. She took action when someone who was met with open arms by Wall Street, the anointed Wall Street president of the United States, Kamala Harris. She was in the bag, right? She didn't think that Kamala Harris was fundamentally qualified to be president of the United States because you can't lock up, you can't take away the life, liberty, and happiness of us, inalienable rights given to us by our creator, by the Constitution. People who do that are not qualified to be president. She stood up, she took action. So seeing these things, I know that a lot of people have been telling me a lot of different things about her. It's all just very, it's very, like you said, we're speaking off the air. She speaks in generalities now. She doesn't have a specific platform. I haven't seen a specific platform since she ran for president. And she had a universal health care plan. I looked at her platform and I decided that I was going to endorse her for president. And personally, me guys, I don't just endorse anyone for president, especially not Democrats or Republicans. But I believed in her, and to see her, I mean, everybody, it was my everybody knew that she was going to leave the Democratic Party. I mean, that was an abusive relationship, a totally abusive relationship. In fact, these two parties are abusive relationships all over. But someone who has dignity, someone who has empathy, integrity, leaves the Democratic Party, and then what? She does the circuits with the what is that? Turning Point USA, these right wingers, and then she talks about the Democrat Party like she was never a Democratic congresswoman. I mean, this is just it's a shift that I can't explain honestly, and I certainly want her to definitely talk me through as a leader, someone who's a leader of this country. That's what leaders do. Leaders take action. They make decisive decisions. They take self awareness and integrity. They build trust, and then they lead. And so, to me, I had someone who I thought was a leader, and now she's not leading. She's doing talking points. She's defending Donald Trump, who, by the way, is a trust fund rich kid who had everything handed to him. He doesn't need to be defended. He'll be okay. I don't give a shit how many indictments come down the pike. He'll be okay. In fact, I'm sure he's not going to spend a single night in jail. So, what is with a woman who actually had issues, regime change war, universal health care, homelessness? These were the things she talked about in her campaign. I don't hear any of those things. All I hear is the Democrat Party. We all know about the Democrat Party. What a leader needs to do is to tell us what to do about the Democratic Party, what to do about the Republican Party. It's certainly not defending Donald Trump. It's certainly not speaking in generalities. It's not what a leader is. What do you think about that, Willie? Anything that I'm saying to you?
I totally agree. And the thing about it is, when You're calling yourself an independent. And I totally agree the Democratic Party is garbage in many ways. But to call yourself an independent and leaving the Democratic Party and embracing every Republican that comes along,
except for Lindsey Graham, thank God.
What about Lindsey Graham?
Lindsey Graham's in a league of his own, frothing at the mouth, talking about assassinating Putin on Fox News. So at least she's not gone that far. But you're right.
I mean, she's correct on Russia-Ukraine, on the Russia-Ukraine war. She still manages to sound rather anti-imperialist on that question, but on everything else, she's kind of done a 180 on, and she went from, I joked about it but I'm sort of halfway serious. No, I take that back. I'm very serious. She went from being Abby Martin light in 2019, 2020 to turning into Nikki Haley.
Right. No, for what?
The Russia war.
Nikki Haley had a seat at Boeing. She had a board chair. Nikki Haley had campaign finance contributions coming from Democratic donors. What is Tulsi Gabbard? What is motivating her change? That's the interesting part, Willie.
I have a
and
theory.
Also, okay, I'm all ears. But I also sent you a link in the private chat. She sounds retarded. She sounds like she still thinks that the president of the United States runs the country. She's like, I don't understand the fundamental disconnect with her. I don't know if she's playing a game, but go ahead and tell me your theory.
Well, she voted for him. She voted for Biden. I don't think you did. I don't think I did. I know I didn't.
No. To the no.
Yeah. But here's my theory is this. I felt, I mean, not that somebody should. There's a lot to be said about somebody feeling pity for somebody else, but there was some empathy I had for her in 2019. She was getting attacked by Hillary Clinton. She was getting attacked by the liberal media that that were not just shitting on Bernie Sanders. They were shitting on Andrew Yang, who's got problems in a lot of his own ways too. He's problematic, but they went out their way to silence Tulsi Gabbard on several occasions. And in doing so,
he's very articulate. So I understand.
Yeah. And when doing so, I think that some conservatives saw this rather attractive looking veteran being kind of beaten up by the out of touch liberal elite, and they're like, I mean, I think this is their mindset. It's like, come over here, darling. We think that what they're doing to you is wrong, and everything's going to be okay. And it's kind of like, well, I think that she appreciated the encouragement and maybe for some a sincere empathy that some conservatives had toward her. For some, it was an opportunistic way of luring her over to their side, and it all managed to end up doing the same thing. It kind of ended up turning her into the new Dave Rubin.
So that's a good assessment, Willie, but that's not what a leader does. A leader does not get swayed to another side. A leader makes their own side. So that's what she had an opportunity. By the way, being attacked by Hillary Clinton, badge of honor. Being attacked by the liberal media that's always wrong about everything, about every war, about every pandemic, about every vaccine, about every single psyop, that regime change war, about Syria, about Julian Assange. Getting attacked by these people is a badge of honor. As you could transparently see, it's raising the poll numbers to Donald Trump, who is a bag of dumb. He's a bag of dumb. And you want to talk about speaking in generalities. We can talk about the debate later. I don't want to get off track, but like literally being swayed. Again, this is another thing that is yet another disappointing thing. How are you being swayed, Tulsi? You had a platform. You literally stayed in remember she stayed in the primary, even when all the people bowed out after Super Tuesday, she stayed in. You remember that?
I remember that.
It's obviously a woman with some principles, a woman with some kind of fortitude. And to see her just turn around and now speak in generalities is literally laughable. And the thing is that the conservatives, you're right, they don't have a very nuanced mind. It's really just very simple. You're a soldier. And by the way, the Democratic Party person of color. The Democratic Party famously said 4 years ago that they were going to the browning of America. That was in the New York Times. So to see a brown person not be a Democrat is literally, it's like, white genocide is over. These people are afraid. These people are afraid of gays, trans, people of color, people crossing the border. Every day you go to Fox News, they're afraid of something else.
They are.
MCs, the gangs. I mean, so Trump plays off of that. I don't understand how that's actually very motivating. If you're a left winger, if you were ever a left winger, can someone please ask her that question? Can we get a right winger to actually ask her that question? Because she was on Bill Maher the other day. He didn't even ask her that question. That guy is such a lazy interviewer, by the way. Bill Maher is such a lazy interviewer.
Bill Maher's gone downhill. So
he's like the worst interviewer. Why does he even have a show? He doesn't ask any questions. He's
basically Dave Rubin for Joe Biden. That's all he is. He's basically he's basically Ben Shapiro. If Ben Shapiro would be for Joe Biden, that's what Bill Maher is. So
these people are a waste of time. So,
yeah,
I don't understand.
Getting back to Tulsi,
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if she was going to grift, I mean. And I know that's a word that's overused and overplayed, but I was expecting her to maybe go independent, like for real go independent, and go with maybe the Green Party, or just go on her own and because when she did her Tulsi Gabbard show, that she would basically join the ranks of Cornel West and Chris Hedges. And I was hoping that was the route she was going to go into.
Those people are poor.
I don't have a problem with her going on Tucker Carlson, even though I don't like Tucker Carlson. He is kind of correct on foreign policy most of the time. But now she's almost sounding like Sean Hannity on foreign policy, or even worse, Mark Levin. And that's what is offending the hell out of me.
Can you give me an example of that, though? Because I don't. Sean Hannity levels like accusations that are like unwarranted. Like, she's like, the Democrat Party is not what it used to be, and all of this stuff. Like, she doesn't give specifics. Sean Hannity will make up specifics and give it to you.
Well, I mean, like for example, even when she was when she was kind of flirting with the left and everything, she was still a supporter of Israel, but she did it in a way that was still she kind of criticized them. But now she is like totally into the whole genocide agenda of Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, whereas I think 4 years ago she probably would not have been. I mean, but to gain favor with the evangelicals inside the Republican Party, who are anti-Jewish, but for some reason loves the state of Israel anyway. That's how
it has to exist for the rapture to happen.
Yeah. And that's something I try to tell people when it comes to this whole Zionism thing. Just because they say they support Israel, and just because this fat ass like John Hagee says he loves the Jewish people on his televangelist mega church, the man is anti-Semitic. He wants Iran and Israel to toss nukes at each other, so the rapture can happen, so they can go and people like John Hagee can claim that real estate for himself. So when people need to know these things, and
so I kind of disagree with you, Willie. I don't believe that there's any religion in the Republican or Democrat Party. I believe it's an act, and everything is flooded. Everything is just flooded by AIPAC money. And John Hagee, by the way, gets millions of dollars on AIPAC. He goes to Israel all the time. He's goody with those people. They fly to Washington, D.C. together. John Hagee, I know very well. He's Cornerstone Church. I grew up in San Antonio. I know those people. And those people are surrounded by AIPAC people. Lineagers, all of those people. Sheldon Adelson, by the way, Donald Trump's funder from a Zionist. So the Zionists have infiltrated our politics to where they're taking, of course, from the banking system, and they're flooding our political system with cash from their nefarious means. It sounds anti-Semitic. It really does, especially if you're Kanye. But if you just think critically about how these are people that have had the opportunity and the means to do things, and they've done them. Soros, same thing. So, I mean, if we had the opportunity, would we? That's a good question. It's about character. It's about character.
I think that the most anti-Semitic people around are the Christian Zionists. That's my take on it. And she's aligning herself with these people, the John Hagees of the world and all of that, the neocons, and they're kind of all entangled and everything like that. And so this is the Bush Cheney era. She's just mimicking those 2002 talking points and tying it up with the new incarnation of our culture war that's dividing up this country today, which is the reason why we can't have nice things. So just like Dave Rubin, she's done a lot of damage to the left for what she's done. And I have been very patient with her. And I do make jokes, or have been making a lot of jokes about her. But at the same time, I have kind of defended her until I just couldn't defend her anymore. And now she wants to become Donald Trump's running mate. But I don't think
did she say that? Did she say that? Have you heard that from her?
She would be honored, she says.
She said that? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and she is high on Donald Trump's list to become the VP, but I don't think it's going to happen. It won't happen.
He wants somebody who's boring, who's not going to take the spotlight away from him. Because that would be a bad thing.
Donald Trump would love to have a female running mate. And he wants
I don't think he would.
Well, I'll tell you why he would. He wants a female running mate. He wants a female who's attractive. Basically, he wants a female who doesn't talk much but's attractive. There's somebody who basically, if Melania's not giving him any attention, that if
why would she? He's a cheater.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. I wonder what Melania's doing now that everybody knows that he wrote legal. He wrote legal payments when he was trying to pay off a porn star cheating on her when she was pregnant with her kid. So now everybody knows. This is not locker room talk, Melania. This is not locker room talk. She was such a. I mean, these women, these right-wing women, bro. They have a lot. I mean, they got to go through a lot. They got to watch all of their men fucking cheating on them outright. But now we went through an entire legal judicial process where everybody knows how he cheated, when he cheated, how much he cheated for. That's embarrassing, Melania. If I was her, I would literally be so embarrassed. What do you think she's thinking right now? Oh yeah, Tulsi would be honored to be his running mate. So again, she's not even acting like a fucking Republican. She's acting retarded. I just posted on Instagram. You want to play that little video, her Instagram video?
Okay, let me find it real quick.
This is an example of Tulsi Gabbard pretending to be retarded again. She's pretending. I feel she's pretending. Because nobody can just all of a sudden really be this retarded. Tulsi, I'm talking to you.
Okay, yeah. Let me find it real quick and I'll get it ready.
The worst part is all these stupid shit-lived podcasters won't ask her any questions, and the right-wingers don't ask her any questions because they're dumb. So I can't get her answer to questions. Fucking shit.
Okay, yeah, it'll be just a second. All right, let me do this real quick.
I'm sorry, I made you do this, Willie.
Oh no, you're fine. No, you're fine. You're totally fine. Not a problem. Not a problem. Okay.
Like, share, and subscribe to the Willie Bragg Show, guys. And hit the like button. Smash that like button. Smash that like button.
Yeah, thanks.
Do it for the country. Do it for the kids. Do it for the troops. Do it for the kids.
Okay, and let me see if I can get her.
The problem. Oh my
get
god.
Her going.
Can you believe that everybody didn't know that just yesterday everybody found out that Joe Biden was fucking demented? Did you realize that, really? All of a sudden, everybody just realized it yesterday. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, they just realized it.
Almost like
okay, I got the volume. I got the volume here. Hold on.
Is climate change.
Okay. We'll let her say it, and then it will probably repeat in a loop again. So, okay. we'll let her do her thing.
End of quote.
The only existential threat to humanity is climate change.
Only an insane person would say this. And this exact insane person has the power to launch a nuclear weapon. How could we even consider that it would be safe to reelect this man? Now, remember, again, he's the guy with the nuclear codes, and yet he doesn't consider nuclear war to be an existential threat. I don't know what he thinks it'll be. Is it just going to be a walk in the park? We're talking about the skin burning off of our children, the decimation of all living things. What to speak of the nuclear winter that would follow? This doesn't seem to be a concern to President Biden, which makes me ask, what world is this man living in? He is responsible for the fact that today we are now closer to nuclear war than ever before, and he is responsible for deciding.
So she's got that right. He is responsible for us being closer to nuclear war. But I just want to educate the audience that I'm well versed in all kinds of propaganda techniques because I read the book Manufacturing Consent with Noam Chomsky. He lists propaganda techniques of the mass media. What she just did, Biden said the existential threat is climate change. Was there any mention of nuclear war? No. He's pandering to an audience that believes climate change is an existential threat. In no way did he say that nuclear war was not an existential threat. What she just did was a red herring, Willie. What she just did was she used a fact that he is leading us closer to World War III and nuclear weapons to outline the fact that he is demented and he doesn't really think clearly on what the existential threat is. She basically just said that. No, I'm sure another day he'll say that's an existential threat. If you pay him $5, Joe Biden will tell you anything's an existential threat. He's a bought and paid for dementia-riddled Dixiecrat, bro. If you pay him, he'll say whatever you want. But she uses this this thing to outline her own agenda, which is called a red herring, guys. It's a propaganda technique, and it's used. Right wingers use this to distract from the fact that the president doesn't, to distract the president's argument, and to try to outline the narrative. So she's actually doing her own narrative. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Willie. She's using the red herring to outline her own narrative. And what is her narrative? What is exactly she's trying to say? Is Donald Trump is going to save us from this existential threat? I don't know. It's not clear to me. But that to me is just really disingenuous to use red herring propaganda techniques on a dementia-riddled Dixiecrat. Why are you going to do that? It's weird, right?
That is weird. Well, with regard to Trump, now there is this thing about there's this thing about Trump being less of a warmonger that you hear about, and I have something to say about that. Glenn Greenwald talked about why there was less international crisis during the Trump administration, and it really didn't have a lot to do with the fact that he was pro-peace, although he might have been less aggressive on foreign policy than, let's say, George W. Bush and Dick Cheney. But it had more to do with the fact that you had Trump coming in, you had the never Trumpers who were against Trump, the resistance liberals against Trump, and there was a lot of chaos that was going on. And all that chaos accidentally, in a good way, made the world less aggressive, made the United States less aggressive around the world.
We had less deportations, too, than Obama. We had less people in poverty than Obama.
And AOC, when she was sitting there crying her little tears at the cage, it's amazing. They were Trump cages, but now those cages apparently don't exist, and they didn't exist when Obama was president, even though that's when the cages were starting to be problematic.
So she's not Tulsi's not as retarded as AOC by any stretch. She's still nefarious, disingenuous. AOC's got full blown. I don't know what she is. Oh, baby girl. Oh, baby. One day she's a gangster. The next day she's Rosie Perez. The next day she's Jennifer Lopez. Who knows what AOC is? All I know is AOC she isn't co-legislating anything. She isn't campaigning for any issues. She's not doing anything except for campaigning with losers that lost their primaries.
A couple of things about AOC. A couple of things about her. First, when I was like really pro Tulsi Gabbard and really pro AOC, I used to refer to Tulsi Gabbard as the grown up, more mature AOC. That's how I used to affectionately refer to her.
I know. That's why I brought that up.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think? Do you still think that?
I think that they're both down the same level in a lot of ways, because now she fillets Donald Trump and AOC fillets Joe Biden. Yeah. So, and both is terrible positions. But the thing about it is that when Tulsi Gabbard was a member of Congress, and Nico House explained this when he was a campaign surrogate, and I wonder how he feels about this. I like Nico House. I know he must feel a sense of betrayal from Tulsi Gabbard.
Do you think he would even say, because he's up in the big leagues where these are all careful, politically planned decisions where you have to say the right thing? So would Nico challenge Tulsi Gabbard's positions now? I don't know. He isn't saying much about that.
I know he doesn't say. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. But,
I do. We have to hold our people accountable, or we're nothing. We lose the power. We lose the power we're given.
I understand that, but we're all human.
You're a black man. You should know this, bro.
We're all human, and she gave a very good song and dance. She was very convincing. I have argued with people. With people in 2019 and 2020, defending her. So I'm not going to go.
You don't feel mad about that now?
I feel like I got egg on my face about it. I have to take the L on it. But how do you
feel about Bernie now? You feel embarrassed about that, right? I would still do it again. If I had to do it all over again, would you still vote for Bernie Sanders in 2016? Would you?
Here's my situation with Bernie. I have been a Bernie bro long before everybody else have. We're talking about 1990.
So would you in 2016? You would, right? So would I.
I would not donate to Bernie, but would I vote for him in the primaries? Probably would. I would vote if I lived in Vermont this coming November. I would vote for him for re-election for the U.S. Senate. But I'm glad he's not running the third time for president.
Yeah, me too.
Because that would be embarrassing. That would be fucking embarrassing.
It was already embarrassing when he was like, Hillary understands. And she's like, they want a pony. Remember that? Bernie Bros want a pony.
Yeah.
I don't think she understands. She's still fucking calling us fucking racists and fucking sexists and telling us we want ponies.
She's still
while he was endorsing her, she was saying that shit. That bitch was so messed up. I'm so glad you told her.
Very embittered toward Bernie. You ever seen the movie Free Lunch Express?
No.
You can watch it free on YouTube. Even though it's a right-wing movie, it's a right-wing movie that's actually making fun of Bernie Sanders. And even though they are making fun of Bernie Sanders, when you watch the movie, the way that they portray Hillary Clinton is very accurate. I think they actually hated her more than they hated Bernie, because
everybody does.
She threw
Bill did.
She basically said that he will be suicided if he doesn't play ball. If you get my meaning.
That's okay. She said the same thing to me, but there's ways I can get out of that. I just get a blue dress in an Oval Office and I'm fine. Just depending on what is, you know what I'm saying?
She was like, "Don't mess with me, Bernie." It was just funny watching that. I highly recommend the movie in that regard. But as I said, now I do have some anger management toward Bernie. I don't think he was trying to. I disagree with some people. I disagree with Jimmy Dore and some others when they said he was trying to sheep her people back into the Democratic Party, taking the young, vibrant, radical left energy. Why would he do that in 2015? Just out of boredom. I think he was trying to build a revolution, and I think he hit a brick wall.
I think someone gave him the word
Democratic Party.
revolution. I don't know if it was a revolution he wanted to do. It was
I
definitely
mean,
some kind of reforming.
of course, he's
revolution.
like what let's see, Keaton and Russell said the other day, talking about Bernie Sanders, that in regard to British politics. No, it was a couple of months ago, regarding George Galloway, and they were talking about British politics. They said that even by British standards, Bernie Sanders would be pretty much a centrist in the UK. He'd be in the middle of the Labour Party. He wouldn't even be in the Jeremy Corbyn wing of the Labour Party, and he wouldn't be obviously in the Keir Starmer, Tony Blair wing of the Labour Party. He'd be in the dead center of the Labour Party. Same with AOC, same with the rest of the squad. They would not even.
How can you quantify that though? Because they have completely different policies. Like, for instance, they all have universal health care already. They already have paid family leave already. Yeah. So, like, what kind of issues would Bernie champion that would put him in that kind of like a?
He would just be, he'll be like, we're here to protect your national health service, and we're here to protect, it'd be like your standard Democrat saying, we're here to protect your Social Security and keep your Medicare solvent. I mean, it will be something like that,
Although I tried to cut it twice, and then I tried to cut it a third time and a fourth time. I didn't cut everything in the government.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't be a Joe Biden type, but
Joe Biden doesn't remember that, but he tried to cut Social Security.
Yeah, but what was I saying? Getting back to Tulsi, I was a couple of points I was going to make about her. But
I'm pretty much done with her. I've said all I need to say about her. She needs to respond, or people need to stop watching her programs because she's being dishonest, disingenuous, and you're not getting anything out of it but illusions. But Willie, the thing that bothers me anymore, as I saw the debate, did Trump really defeat Joe Biden? No, every point that Trump made was a generality, wasn't it? They're killing us. They're killing us at the border. They're killing us in New York. They're killing us in Miami. You haven't done anything. You're weak. They think they're laughing at us. That's what he would say. Who's laughing at us? How many people are dying? Where are they coming from? All of these questions, Joe Biden, if he was coherent, I would ask him, what the fuck are you talking about? Donald Trump has no idea. He speaks in generalities. This whole entire political circus, bread and circus, is nothing but an illusion. We should really tune in, turn off, drop out, be in. And that's what I thought Cornel West was trying to do. But it turns out that leadership, I guess, in this country is just it's far lacking. And so that's why, Willie, we can't just let these people slide with this shit. We got to whip these guys into shape. You know the reason why Jeremy Corbyn and George Galloway are so strong? Because they have parliament and people argue back and forth. People literally have all the debates. We don't have debates. We have talking points here. There's a big difference from other countries that our government. Our government we don't need to have debates because we already know who's paying who. And most of the time, they're all getting paid by the same person. So why are we having debates? No, they just vote.
And we're not allowed to have a parliamentary system here. So, and that's another thing right there.
Of course not. Because then they'd have to actually come out on the record. Just like Jimmy Dore was trying to do with Force the Vote. These guys don't want to come out on the record because everybody knows who's paying them. So again, like I said, disingenuous. And so that's the broader issue that makes me mad about Tulsi Gabbard is the fact that she's falling into this whole this political trap, this political landscape of illusion, of nothingness, of emptiness, where there's no substance, there's no issues being solved, there's no reform, there's no revolution, there's nothing. There's nothing.
But that's my point.
Hillary can say all she wants about a pony. I didn't want a pony, Hillary. I wanted you to change something. But these guys, nothing will fundamentally change. So again, Tulsi Gabbard, you're going down this road. I'm going to have to now walk with you that way because we're about free thinking, innovative, open-mindedness here at Domination Politics and the Willie Bragg Show.
Well, and that's the other point I was going to bring out because when I was mentioning about Nico House, when he used to defend her on his show, he actually did point out policy that she outlined that on climate change, on healthcare, UBI. I mean, and it was actually to the left of AOC, and it was more detailed.
It was very much because she went to other countries. You know, Tulsi, she went to Syria to see if they were attacking with gas chemicals. She found the CIA and she found regime change wars. So she used to be fact finder. Now she doesn't want to know, just like the rest of them don't want to know. It's just like, what? Oh my God, it just hurts me. It hurts me that I thought that we had a leader here that was going to fact find, that was going to take action, that was going to change the fierce urgency of now. But now we've got the tranquilizing drug of gradualism once again. And I mean, that I Have a Dream speech, 1964. The fierce urgency of now versus the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. I mean, TikTok, how much longer can we last with neoliberal policies? Just adjourning on the new world order of neoliberalism. How much longer we can last in a stagnated wages feudalist states where the corporate entities have taken away our life, liberty, and happiness? I mean, she had an opportunity serving her country. She had bona fides. Personally, I wouldn't ever fight in a war for this country. Never. But she did, and she survived somehow. So now she's got credible bona fides with the establishment. She had all the things. She had all the things necessary, bro, to actually make change. And she's fucking literally podcasting about the Democrat Party. It's such a waste, bro. At least Trump never did anything really with his life. Didn't write his own book. Didn't start his own business. Didn't fucking do anything, right? He just had it all. So of course Trump, he's gonna run for president again. What else is he gonna do? They took all of his businesses. They go through all of his tax returns. If Trump so much as fucking does any deals, everybody's gonna know about it. So why would he do that? Running for president is the smartest, safest option for Trump. Because if Trump tries to do any more employment activities, Nancy Pelosi will know. Nancy Pelosi's going no. So I'm sure this is probably the smartest thing. That's another thing. Donald Trump has to run for president, guys. I just want to tell you that. It's not because he lost and he's trying to fight for America, make America great again. The only thing Donald Trump can do now, because he can't work anymore. Donald Trump can't sign a contract anymore because they're going to look at all his contracts. Donald Trump can't do tax returns anymore because he can't fucking look at his tax returns. The only thing Trump can do now that they won't literally put him away for prison on is run for president. So, guys, this is the only thing. And by the way, if he was actually a good conservative, if he was a fiscal conservative and saved his money, he probably could have retired by now. But Donald Trump is a blathering buffoon who spends all of the money that he always has, and he's always broke. Donald spends the money. You give Donald Trump the money, he spends the money. Sheldon Adelson, I broke. I had casinos, but somehow I'm broke. Give me the money, I spend the money. What did you do with our deficit? Triple the deficit. Give me the money, spend the money. So what are we going to do for the next 4 years of Trump? He's not a fucking conservative, but guys, by the way, Donald Trump is far from it. But if he was, he could have retired by now. So, again, this whole thing is bullshit. Conservatives are conservatives. Liberals aren't liberals. Tulsi Gabbard, fuck me. Nico House, go to town on this guy, on her. You're the only one that can do this. I challenge you. That's a good idea, Willie. You came up with that idea. That was Willie's idea. Just kidding. That's a good idea, though.
Yeah.
Well, she'll listen to him.
Yeah. As I said, I mean, and just this whole thing about being lied to, and everything, and who she's, she wants to sit there and lecture everybody about Biden, but she voted for him. She endorsed him, and which was a slap in the face to Bernie when she endorsed Biden over Bernie, because they had long running. There was some beef that was building up at the time. But there's another caveat to this, and I have a not a conspiracy theory, but I do where the hell did that thing go?
I want to hear this.
Yeah, I found it.
Oh,
yeah. I had a conspiracy theory, not a conspiracy theory, but I do think that there was an unspoken agreement when she ran and when she announced her candidacy in 2019. And I think that she was there, really, honestly, trying to be either a VP. That's why I think she was. I think she was sort of doing what, what's his name? In the Republican primary, what's his name? What's that guy's name? The young guy that was running in the primary that's kind of obnoxious.
Ramaswamy?
Yeah, Ramaswamy. He was trying to pull one of those. but except he was blatant. I'm the pro-Trump Republican in the primary,
Right.
and I am
I'm second America first candidate. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, but that's
What a
what she was
bootleg.
doing subtly. She was doing the subtle version of that. So
Yeah.
she took out Kamala Harris, she took out Tim Ryan, and she was about ready to take out Pete Buttigieg. And then, then the media found a way to keep her out of the debates completely. So she went out on her own, on
So that's why I voted for her instead of Bernie in the primaries. That's why I voted for her. Because a real leader, if Bernie Sanders was a leader, he would have done it himself. But he can't do that. He's just too nice or something. That's the reason why he didn't win.
I think that was the relationship that they sort of, I think they spoke, but they didn't directly say these things. I think that they kind of spoke around it, sort of the same way that I think that the Clintons spoke to Trump in 2015. Before he ran for president. They didn't tell Trump, please run for president. They spoke in generalities about the possibility of him running, and kind of planted the seed in his head, sort of thing, because that's another conspiracy theory I had.
I definitely do. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is very easily could influence. Just tell him he's got big hands, good large ratings, a wonderful penis, and he'll do whatever you want. In fact, Willie, the last time I was on the show, I told you that we could actually we could manipulate Donald Trump if we really tried to. The left could use Donald Trump, just like the left used Donald Trump during COVID to get FEMA aid, stimulus checks. Remember that? We used him. We also used him to Bernie Sanders used Donald Trump to veto the military budget. That was something that Bernie Sanders did. He manipulated Donald Trump. I don't know if y'all remember during the COVID pandemic, but Nancy Pelosi, she didn't want to fucking negotiate with him. And so he wanted his checks to be I want my name to be on the checks, right? So he went to Twitter, asked for stimulus. Then all of a sudden, Wolf Blitzer was like, well, why don't you do this? People are child poverty, people are going hungry. She looked like a bad guy on CNN. So she had to so the Democrats have literally they could influence and manipulate Trump. The reason why the Democrats don't influence and manipulate Trump, though, is the reason why the Republicans want Trump out of the party, Willie. These two parties are fascists. See, Donald Trump is a businessman. Businessmen think about, okay, what's good for me and what's good for you? How can we come to an agreement? That's what business is. These two parties are fascists, so they want total victory. Total victory involves not both parties getting what they want, but you crushing your enemy. So that's what he's learning. That's what Donald Trump's learning when he gets into politics, is that this is not a business. This is a fascist state. These two parties don't want to compromise. They want total victory. They want their enemy crushed underfoot. That's what they want. That's what Lindsey Graham's always fucking crying. I want to turn the sand into glass. They want total victory. They want to crush their enemy. Otherwise, they would have come to compromises. They would have signed an Iran nuclear deal. They would have signed many deals all through the Middle East. We would have had peace. They don't want peace. They want total victory. They want crushing. They want genocides. So it's clear as day that these populists, these parties, I understand where Donald Trump's coming from with his business mentality. He's got good instincts on that. The rest of it, shit. And this whole political landscape is poisoned with empty generalizations. So need leadership for sure. Do you have any ideas? Who are you going to vote for? Do you know who you're going to vote for in November?
Who am I going to vote for? I had plans to vote for, initially had plans to vote for Cornel West, and there was nothing that was going to stop me from voting for Cornel West until Peter Dow basically fucked up his campaign. And I really believe in my heart of hearts that he was sitting there to destroy the Cornel West campaign, and he did. So I'm going to vote for Jill Stein in November.
That's a good idea. One thing I have to say about Jimmy Dore is that, I'm very uneasy about the fact that he thinks that we can all organize along class lines with the right wing, because the right wing doesn't really care about class lines. They believe in hierarchies. So they believe that the reason why they're at the position they're at is because of God and the leader. If they just work that much harder, they can get up, right? They just work harder. So they don't believe in class lines, period. What the right wing wants is less brown people. What the right wing wants is less gay people. What the right wing wants is less non-white people. What the right wing wants is less non-Christian people. So I just want to say, Jimmy, if you're going to organize with these guys along class lines, they don't even care about class. They don't think class exists. They think a sky god exists, and they think there's too many brown people in the country. So if you're going to try to compromise with these right wingers, Jimmy, there's only one thing that these right wingers want: less brown people, less gay people. And if you're going to try to do a deal with them, I'm going to be there to stop you, Jimmy. But one thing I want to say about Jimmy Dore is the fact that he always holds people's feet to the fire. He always holds people accountable. He forces the issue, and he holds people accountable. He holds OC accountable. He forced the vote, and that's a good job, Jimmy. I'll go with you on that. You try to fucking compromise with these fucking right wingers. There's only one thing they want, and I'll be there to stop you, Jimmy. Just so you know.
Yeah, and he needs to realize that about what you said about brown people, that he's married to a brown person, and they're not going to like that about him. So
they don't. They barely like that Tulsi's brown. They pretend she's a Christian, even though she's a Hindu.
No, she's Hindu. She's Hindu, and that's another reason why she's not going to be. Huh?
They pretend she's a Christian, but she's Hindu.
That's right, and that's why she's not going to be.
On. We'll pretend.
She's not going to be VP because it'll come out that she's
correct.
Hindu. Yeah.
And by the way, Ramaswamy won't be VP because he's also brown. So just so y'all know. And by the way, Tim Scott won't be VP because he's also brown. So guys, you want to?
Tim Scott has a better chance.
Organize along class lines with these guys. These guys bomb churches. These guys throw stones at gay people.
I do think that Tim Scott has a better chance than Tulsi Gabbard, or
he's got no chance, bro. He's a token.
Who do you think it's going to be then? Who do you think it's going to be?
A white woman or a white man? It probably will be a white man because a white woman would be okay for the election, but then after that, the white woman would get on Donald Trump's nerves, and she would last shorter than Mike Pence at the fucking January 6th rally.
I'll tell you, I don't.
Almost hung Mike Pence. They're definitely going to hang the white woman.
Okay,
why are you telling the president stop drinking the Diet Coke? Why are you nagging the president, ma'am?
Even though I don't watch the Young Turks, or rarely watch the Young Turks anymore, Cenk Uygur made a prediction about who the VP would be that was kind of interesting, and he. The former governor of North Dakota, Doug Burnham.
Probably. He's obscure.
He's obscure. He's basically an AI generated politician. He kind of reminds you of a very dry, boring Mitt Romney.
Good projection. Because that's what he'll do. He did it before, Mike Pence. So, I mean, guys, you think he's gonna change? He's not gonna. He's 80. How old is Trump? He's like 78. You think he's gonna change? He's going to do the same shit. He's going to pull out a fucking North Dakota governor.
He'd probably be more moderate than Mike Pence, Doug Burnham, because that's the dirty little secret. Mike Pence was the real nutcase during the Trump presidency. He may not have looked like that. He may have a demeanor of a moderate person, but he was the ideology in the Trump administration. It's just that Trump looks like the crazy man, but the real crazy person during that time was Mike Pence, because he was the one, while Trump was out there making these fucking speeches around the country, it was Mike Pence who was going around, operating these agencies in the government with all this right-wing bullshit that was going on at the time. Yeah,
I'm sure.
He's
about right.
He's the evangelical. He's the neocon. He's the corporatist. And all the continuation of the Bush-Cheney policies from the administration came from Mike Pence. And in the U.S. Senate, it was coming from Mitch McConnell. So he got them to run.
And it was also coming from Chuck Schumer.
Of course,
right?
Of course. You have Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer who'll sit there and call Trump an asshole all day long, but they end up voting for his military budgets, and they end up voting for his judges, and
they end up reinstating his border policies.
Yep, pretty much across the board. It's all a game,
and nothing fundamentally changes.
Nothing fundamentally changed. That's probably the most true thing that Biden said, and there will be no fundamental changes. And damn, he was right.
That was the last thing he said before he went demented.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that
play the record player.
Yeah, and that's another thing. A lot of people who are like so pro MAGA and everything, they act like that the entire country just changed the moment Biden became president. And I got news for them. It didn't.
I know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
The only thing that's
It would
changed
take
is
like it would take a million years to fucking try to unpack a right winger's imaginary illusion mindset. I mean, don't forget the QAnon. Have you ever looked into that shit? That shit is crazy.
I studied it,
They
and
believe in the weirdest shit, bro.
it's the weirdest. Is it's just beyond anything. I mean, the conspiracy theories from these people get wilder all the time.
Drinking kids' blood, baby blood. Like, where did that come from? I don't know. Not Alex Jones. Did Alex Jones say that? The frogs.
I think Alex Jones
Jones-
is kind of
is he
skeptical
Jewish?
of. I don't think he went that quite that far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex Jones, not even the mainstream Republican anymore.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't think he quit. I mean, he didn't, he's going around claiming that, what was it called? The shooting, what was it? The shooting that took place. I cannot think of the name of the shooting, that took place that he claimed was stage actors. He claimed that was
Sandy Hook, right?
Sandy Hook, yes, yeah, which is crazy and wild and all of that. But
I wouldn't put it past the FBI; they would do it, but it didn't happen.
yeah.
He should have checked with the parents first before he made that excuse. That's who he's getting sued from, right?
Alex Jones made me laugh one time. Well, he actually makes me laugh a lot. Don't like Alex Jones' politics, but he's funny. And yeah, and one day when Obama was president, and it was like he made peace, or Michael Savage made peace with Alex Jones, and it was something along the lines of Michael Savage and I we're now on the side of liberty, but when George W. Bush was president, he was on the side of tyranny and I was on the side of liberty, and now we're on the same side of liberty, but when Sarah Palin becomes president, he will be back on the side of tyranny, and I will still be on the same side of liberty. Yeah. I mean, I was like, oh my God.
They should really look at the dictionary about those words, see what they mean.
Yeah.
Someday.
What people think liberty and is and tyranny is. I mean,
communism.
Yeah.
Last year, everything was communism. Everything.
They think she give health care to everybody. They compare it to Nazi Germany or something like that. I'm like, they did have universal health care in Germany, but that's, it was already in existence for decades, and Hitler had nothing to do with it. So
he didn't.
I
want to say that Hitler had some valid points that are now coming back to haunt us about some people, and I'm not talking about the Jews as a whole, but I'm talking about I'm talking about the Bible, and I'm talking about that book and they say there's a promised land. And then they go around killing the Philistines, the Amorites, the Hittites, the Jebusites, till there's nobody there. Then they go to around Jericho. They murder everybody but the whore, Rahab. They kill everyone. So in the Bible, they're killing everybody. What do you expect them to do now? So this genocide is like literally, it's not because they're Jewish. It's because of their it's because of their history, their heritage. Like it's their religion. It's telling them to do this. It's not an inherent human Jewish thing. It's not a Semitic thing. It's a background, historical heritage thing. And they really need to stop that. And they really do. And I got to call that out as a free thinker. I'm not anti-Semitic, but let me just tell you this. Us black people that are looking at Palestine, this open air prison where they don't have rights, and you just throw them everywhere, then you want to come to us for aid. You want to come to us. Let me just tell you something, Israel. I don't give a fuck. Who asked you to make an ethno state, a Jewish state? Why didn't you make a state where all men were created equal? Why didn't you make a constitution like us? Because then we could have helped you. But we don't have the same ideas that you do. You have an ethno-Jewish state. We have a free and independent, all men are created equal state. It's not our constitution. So once you guys change that, maybe I'll give a shit about Hamas. But as for now, your state is literally founded on racism. And so when you ask me about Hamas, you can talk all day about Hamas. I don't give a shit about Hamas. In fact, Hamas is your fault.
Yeah, they created Hamas.
And anytime they want me to fucking feel bad about Hamas. They want to talk about Hamas. If they want to smear me with Hamas, talk about how I'm a Hamasist. I don't give a shit. Sure, whatever you say. I'm not going to help you guys until you fucking change your fucking state, until you change your country and your policies of your country, because your country's racist. Me, as a black person, we endured racism. We endured slavery. We endured inferiority, white supremacy. And let me just tell you this. This is why they're so mad at black people. They're mad at Brianna Joy Gray. They're mad at Candace Owens, because we see you guys doing what happened to us. And we see it with you. So you think we're just going to let that slide? We're not. We're black people, and we see you. You can fire us all. You can call us all anti-Semitic. We're not. But we're calling you out. And you better change your fucking racist state. Us black people are telling you, Israel, change your racist state. Or we're not going to help you. We're not going to give a shit about you. We went through that, and we don't like racists. Mic drop. End of story.
Yeah.
So, not anti-Semitic. You can change it. Just change your racist state.
What they needed to do after World War II, instead of going to Palestine, they needed to take East Prussia, which is now northern Poland. If you wanted, they could have created a new state. The Allies could have created a new state over there. It would have probably worked out better over there.
As far as I'm concerned, it was all about the foundations. We made a foundation where all men were created equal. That's why we lasted so long and strong. We had rights given to us by our creator. They made a racist state where Jews reign supreme and are better than everybody else. So you make a country like that. You build your house upon a sand. When the rains come, the house falls. Is that my fault? No, it's nature. So get it fixed.
You know what's crazy? That AIPAC is not considered a foreign entity, but any other group that would try to influence the legislation in the United States would be considered a foreign agency.
Right.
Yeah.
Hitler brought up those same things, by the way. They were doing the same thing in Germany. So it's just like, I don't understand. Like, we've already been through all of this stuff. They've already seen what happens when someone who literally is anti-Semitic fucking it tries to fix their shenanigans. The Holocaust happened, right? Because he had valid concerns. They were doing the same thing in Germany. We're a free state, and we don't believe in that shit. So we'll handle it a different way, but we better handle it. As I mean, this needs to be handled, bro.
Well, I mean, for Hitler, he actually blamed the Jewish people for Bolshevism, blamed them for capitalism, and blamed every ill in the world on a small group of people.
That was also something we're not going to do. We're not going to blame sicknesses on you, shit like that.
Yeah,
but you made a racist state, and we're going to blame you for that. That's your shit. Fix it, or I don't give a shit about you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah,
Free Palestine. Hashtag free Palestine.
Yeah, and yeah.
Why is any American supporting a racist state? Did we support apartheid, South Africa? We did, didn't we?
We did at one time, but eventually, like the Reagan administration was very supportive of South Africa, but eventually Congress said you can't do this, and to the chagrin of the Reagan administration, the sanctions were enacted against the apartheid government until finally apartheid was broken. So, and Nelson Mandela became free. And, I remember it was 1990 when he became free, and he was interviewed on television. They acted like he was the worst person in the world. They were saying, "You're seeking friendship from Fidel Castro and Yasser Arafat and Muammar Gaddafi." I'm thinking to myself, they were the only ones that extended their hand of friendship to him, while the United States was sitting there bolstering this government,
Yeah. The same things, the same exact positions.
Exactly.
So we've learned from history. Now all we need is our Congress to do it. And by the way, you said Congress acted to do sanctions. So again, Congress needs to levy. Congress is supposed to have the ability to levy power of war powers. Congress is supposed to declare war. Congress is supposed to levy sanctions, not the president. So our checks and balances are fundamentally. Yesterday, on Monday, the Supreme Court made immunity Did you hear about this in Reuters?
Yes.
So the last thing I want to talk about, just because it fits into this whole, this is all disjointed now, because the president was supposed to faithfully execute the laws that were established by Congress and save, threats, foreign and domestic, right? He's not supposed to have the power to levy wars. He's not supposed to have immunities. He's supposed to faithfully execute the laws. So this whole faithfully executing the laws and having immunity for war crimes is literally conflicting. Our Supreme Court is now not acting on jurisprudence, because it says in the Constitution clearly that he's supposed to faithfully execute the laws. He's not supposed to have immunities. In fact, he's supposed to be impeached and then thrown out of office if he's out of hand. Our founding fathers did not want a king. They did not want a king. They wrote all of this shit in the Constitution so that there would not be any doubt in any way that they could throw him out whenever he got fucking corrupted. So they wrote Article 2. They wrote it. So how the fuck is the Supreme Court going to pass this? What precedent did they even say about presidential immunity? They're not even operating with jurisprudence. They're not even operating with constitutional awareness. Article 2 basically says he's supposed to be thrown out anytime he smells bad. Impeach him and throw him out. Read the Constitution, guys. It's really funny when it comes to the president. Pretty much says the shit bag. Whenever he smells bad, throw him out. He goes 4 years. He gets elected again. If he doesn't, throw him out. Also, if he fucking looks at me funny, throw him out. Because they didn't like kings. They did not like it. They signed a whole Declaration of Independence about a king. They did not like the king. They wanted to throw him out. So the whole Article 2 is about throwing out the president. There's no immunities.
Well, with this Supreme Court ruling, what do you think?
Man.
What do you think should be done with the Supreme Court ruling? How do you think that the courts should be handled from this point on? I mean, because I have some. I have
looked at the Constitution.
And
the Constitution says. I said, look at the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't say anything about lifetime appointments. Nothing.
I agree.
Nothing about that.
Here's what I think that should happen. I think that I have no problems. I was on the fence about expanding the courts, but before it's too late to expand the fuck out of the courts, add 5 seats to make sure and retroactively retire these people with term limits. Some of these right-wing judges, to make sure that there will no longer be this right-wing reign of terror that's being thrusted upon us. I mean, I would go that far, but
there's supposed to be checks and balances, though, Willie. So again, here's a question. There's supposed to be checks and balances, right? So the Supreme Court's supposed to check on whether or not things are constitutional, like they did with Obamacare. And so it turns out they interpret it as a tax. So who's supposed to check the judicial branch? Who's supposed to check the judicial branch with the checks and balances? Do you know?
I don't think they get to have much accountability, although I guess Congress can impeach these justices if they're out of line,
Okay. Yeah, I think it would probably go back to Congress because, again, Congress makes the laws in the first place. So I think you're right about that. So I think it's time for AOC to stop selling skincare. I think it's time for the butch body to stop fucking giving me memes in Congress. I think it's time for these guys to start working, bro. These guys are lazy fucking. They're bums. They're bums with the eyeliners on and their fake eyebrows and their skincare lines and their Instagram lives. They need to get the fuck to work. We really need to.
They got drama. They got
Congress work again. Really,
they had to behave like mean high school girls that day.
Yeah, bro. We need to bring the pitches and torches from. You know what? Tar and feather. That worked before. Samuel Adams would have liked that. Guys, these guys need to work again. Again, Roe v. Wade. Codified into law? No? Oh, okay, I guess you're not working. What are these guys doing? I guess they're on Instagram. I guess they're doing rallies where 200 people show up. They're losing. These guys are not, these are lazy people. They should not get any government handouts. These guys should get drug tested. Let me just tell you. These guys should need to be drug tested. I think Jamal Bowman, AOC, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, the first thing they need to do is get drug tested. Second thing they need to do is get back to work.
I like to see if they could do some recalls on
get a job.
do a recall on people like John Fetterman in Pennsylvania.
Oh my God! Yes.
Somebody who
Hallelujah.
lied to his base. You know,
It all goes back to us. Maybe we're the bums, really. Maybe
yeah.
we're just the bums because they're representing us, right? So maybe we're bums. I don't know. I guess we'll find out in November. See. What do you think is going to happen in November?
I think that Trump is going to win, but it's hard to say how the Congress is going to be made up. Right now,
I be made up of bums.
Huh?
Probably going to be made up of bums.
Well, they're always made of bums, no matter which party dominates. But yeah, I do think that the Republicans may get a bounce for the next following 2 years.
These guys are not even like doing anything, and they're getting bounces. These Democrats are fucking horrible, bro. How are they so incompetent? Like that, the Republicans aren't even doing anything, and they're getting bounces.
But you know, here's the weird thing: the Democrats know how to fuck themselves like there's no tomorrow. They know how to. The Republicans are number one out when it comes to getting shit done and revenge politics. The Republicans are second to none, and the Democrats are wimps. They don't know how to fight back effectively. When they do have a little bit of backbone, they're just kind of like they're even when they fight back in a ways that's just incompetent. That you can't get anything done. And they'll go attack Donald Trump on mean tweets, you know, instead of attacking Trump on what he needs to be criticized for.
They could attack Trump on closing the economy. One of the biggest lies, by the way, guys, is Biden closed the economy. Remember, Trump closed the economy. They could be hitting him. The Democrats could be hitting Trump with this economy closure right now. They're just so stupid. You could turn it all around, and they could just blame it all on Trump because it all started with him. He's the one who gave Pfizer government contracts. He's the one who fucking asked Fauci to follow the guidelines that just appeared. So like Trump started it, and then the Democrats just like continued it, and then like they're just like, what do we do? It's all just freaking retarded. I don't even have a point to that. I'm just like, sorry, I'm just rambling now. Probably in the show, Willie. We're rambling. Yeah. I'm rambling.
Question for you. Getting back to Tulsi Gabbard.
Oh my God. Okay.
Do you think that she makes quite an effective MAGA communist? What do you think of her being a MAGA communist? Yeah.
A MAGA communist?
You've heard of that term, right?
No, I've not.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, no. Remember Jackson Hinkle, right?
Okay. Yes.
Remember Jackson Hinkle, the dive?
Mm-hmm. He's cute.
He came up with the term. I think it was Jackson Hinkle came up with the term MAGA communism, and people like Caleb Maupin and Haas from Infrared started this whole MAGA communist movement. It was like
what does that involve?
Like it's like being pro-Trump, but being a Marxist-Leninist Stalinist at the same time.
Okay, how does that work?
Thank you for Trump, basically.
How does that work?
Basically trying to appeal to the working class Trump supporters, how their movement is akin to the communist struggles in other countries. That's how I'm reading it. And so they're claiming that they're no different from the working class of China, no different from the working class of the Soviet Union back in their heyday, or the working class in Cuba, or the working class in Vietnam. That that there is a kinship there, and Trump sort of represents that populism that Mao and Stalin and Ho Chi Minh and whatnot and Castro represented. I think that's the way that's how they're packaging Trump with the MAGA communist movement.
You think Tulsi's a MAGA communist? You think that?
I think she would. I think that. I wondered that myself when the whole term was being coined, since it started to look like she was inching toward that direction, and I was just like, she would make a convincing MAGA communist if she went in that direction.
Unfortunately, she hasn't said anything of any specificity to either one way or another. So
I mean, she wouldn't go around saying that's what she is, but yeah, I just wondered if she's flirted with that. I don't know. It was just a thought in my head.
Has anybody asked her about her thoughts about Marx and Lenin? Because I don't even know her thoughts on those guys.
Of course,
I imagine as a service person, she doesn't find them very patriotic, right?
Yeah, I mean, even when she was on the left, I didn't necessarily think she was a socialist or a social democrat. Even I just thought of her as a liberal that was kind of good on foreign policy, you know. But
yeah,
I didn't hear her talking about Julian Assange. Did you?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
So is anybody going to ask her about that?
Bill
Maher had an opportunity. Bill Maher, what a fucking lazy guy. Does he know? Does Bill Maher know that Assange is out? Because he didn't say it on his show. His show's supposed to be a politics show, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be, but you know,
I didn't hear anything about it on mainstream media at all. Or Bill Maher.
Assange is considered still a controversial subject among many.
Yeah, except for among many. You mean many in the establishment? Because like they did a Twitter poll about should you free Assange, and there was like 91% yes. So I don't know. Really? So how do these things get like controversial? We just let these people just maintain their dumb bullshit buggery. There's a British word for this. This buggery.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what it is, right? You look British, Willie. Are you British?
Well, my dad's ancestry is Scot-Irish.
Okay, I knew I saw that.
Yeah.
All right. So
don't exactly know when they came here, but they're Scottish Irish, and
Scots just let the royal family walk all over them. Next thing you know, Mary doesn't have a head anymore, right?
Right.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that, guys.
Yeah, something to think about. But anyway, yeah, she went. But in a nutshell, she went from somebody I was hoping to see as Bernie Sanders VP or Secretary of State or somebody that would be a national security advisor, somebody that was going to take on the military industrial complex, somebody that was going to have a relatively pro-peace foreign policy as opposed to what's been the norm all this time. And we're seeing somebody who, if she ends up being in the Trump administration with some capacity, will end up being basically Nikki Haley.
That wouldn't be smart. That would not be smart.
Yeah.
If she's smart at all, I hope she knows that would not be smart to ally yourself with an idiot who the last time allied himself with two psychos from fucking Michael Pompeo and fucking John Bolton, allied himself with an oil tycoon, and allied himself with a Christian science teacher who never went to a public school in her life. This guy literally, he couldn't pick a worse cabinet if you were blindfolded and been twisted. So like literally, if you're in his cabinet this time, you must be fucking retarded. I have to tell you, you must be. I know who's going to be his cabinet. Margaret Taylor Greene. She's going to be Secretary of Education. Everybody, just two genders. That's my math lesson.
Yeah, but on a very, very positive note, I think that we should remember her best with this here. So I found this. I think you would appreciate this here. So let me go ahead and get this ready right here for you.
Oh, my favorite.
Bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I had to reform a system that is badly in need of reform. That is why we created initiatives that were about reentering former offenders and getting them counseling.
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you are in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who are on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
I did the work. The work was done. The work was good. I put in work.
And let me tell you something. I shouldn't even say this, but I came home from work that morning and saw that from the night before. And when I saw that part of the debate, I Tulsi fucking turned me on that morning when I saw that.
Well, really, the bottom line is, Tulsi Gabbard, when you had a chance to make an impact in an election, you did not. And worse yet, you supported one of the candidates of a duopoly party.
Yeah.
In the worst way. So, I mean, we're face to face with that, Tulsi. The bottom line is, Tulsi, bottom line is you have a chance to make an impact. So what you said to Kamala, just remember that. I'm glad you played that, Willie. I hope Tulsi remembers what she said to Kamala before it's too late. And Kamala, you'll never be president. I'm glad you did the work, and you're proud of the work.
That's
work was
probably
good.
The best contribution she provided. She did a service by preventing Kamala Harris from becoming president. So I can't take that away from Tulsi Gabbard, no matter what direction she's in politically now. And even though she pisses me off, I still have more respect for her now than I ever would for Hillary Clinton. That's the sad part.
I know that's right. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But I just want to urge everybody to consider, if you're voting, try to vote for Democrat or Republican. Try to think of it an alternative perspective, guys, this November. Resist the urge to be part of the conventional wisdom and the status quo. Vote for either some good or maybe a lesser good, not the lesser of two evils. Because the lesser of two evils is evil. Republicans and Democrats are they're not qualified to be president. They're not qualified to actually be in power anymore. They've had their chances and they failed. They've not only failed, but they're also retarded. And I'm not talking about mentally. You're talking about people that are really done on purpose because of money, campaign finance contributions, corrupted.
Frank Zeiler, the former socialist mayor of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, says they talk about the lesser evils, the two lesser evils, but he basically says we're talking about the eviler of the two lessers, and so the problem is our corrupt duopoly. I mean, until we change that, we're still going to be in this rut that we're in. We're going to have culture war among culture war following and everything. Are you familiar with the New Norm show?
No.
It's a cartoon that's on Twitter. It's a right-wing cartoon that's on Twitter, and it goes into every cartoonish, goofy projection of what a boomer conservative thinks everybody on the left is, and and it's really cringe and all of that. And Russell from Due Distance basically said that the anti-woke crowd on the right are just as obnoxious as some on the liberal left who reject class analysis and everything. I'm paraphrasing him, but they kind of need each other, and this is why we're in the mess we're in right now in this country.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. That and the limited choices, the corruption in the the pressing issues facing our.
Yes, and so we need to. Yeah, we need to do something about it. So I mean I'm a registered Green. I'm not married to the Green Party, but I'm a registered.
I think I like I like that idea. Jill Stein sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I mean I mean she's a good lady. I know I'm not going to feel guilty supporting her, and you know, just
and they'll blame her for the election. So
of course, and in fact,
no matter what,
I don't have the tweet on me, but Nick from RBN was talking about. He was bragging. He said, "Yeah, bring it on. I'll take credit for if y'all think we're that powerful. I'll take credit for it."
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
we should have.
That's funny.
We should have taken credit for for Trump's win in 2016. I think we should have taken credit for that. We kind of hid from that.
Yeah,
I think we should take credit for it. Maybe they wouldn't have super delegates anymore.
I know I was blamed for it in purple North Carolina, the state that likes to vote for Democratic governors, but still vote for Republican presidents. I got blamed for it. And I lost about close to 30 friends. Believe it or not, I lost close to 30 friends just for voting for Jill Stein.
It's okay. I mean, we're leaders. We're responsible for a lot of things. And it happens, man. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, and I probably will lose some additional friends because of this, my decision. But you know, you keep
lose friends, promote general welfare, guys.
The country will stay conservative if you keep reinforcing the two-party system. You got, and the Democrats know that they can keep the country conservative. They're doing their part to keep the country conservative.
Absolutely,
Biden is conservative.
I have no idea which one's which anymore. Democrats are like this Gaza thing. Joe Biden, all of his policies, everybody that's voting for Trump was saying that it was the right choice to keep arming them. All the conservatives were saying that. So I was like, are you guys sure that you're voting for Trump? Because like you have this president that you're like literally you're gung-ho about his Gaza thing. They're like, oh yeah, give him more weapons. So I was like, wow. So like, why does Trump need to run? I guess it's because Trump is broke. That's why. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, join me and Willie Bragg always on live streams. Join Tommy Nation Politics at www.tommynationpolitics.com. Be free thinking, innovative, open-minded. We've got facebook.com/Tommy Nation Politics, or you can go to rumble.com/Tommy Nation Politics. We'll check your letters. We'll read your insight. We'll be free thinking, innovative, open-minded, and we'll tell the truth, just like Willie Bragg. I enjoy Willie Bragg's show all the time. You're my guilty pleasure, Willie. Every time I'm getting ready for work, I watch your show.
I appreciate that. that. And you do great videos. I enjoy your video this morning when I was leaving work. I got online and I saw your video on Facebook, and I enjoyed it. And you do great work too. So I just don't know when you like it online, huh?
Yeah, I'm glad you like that. I'm really gay. I like musicals a lot. So if you can't tell.
I could tell with the musicals. I was just like, it's like I noticed you do a lot of the musicals in the background.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Catch me out online anytime. We're working class people, so we be working, but we'll always get together. And we should, if you want to get together on Tuesday or whenever, we should have a convention of our own. We definitely got to have a convention of our own with these two parties having a convention.
Exactly.
Let's get together something. Uncle Warren, you watching? Let's convene. Uncle Warren, let's convene, bro.
Oh, do you watch the new show that he's got in the morning now called Morning Extra?
No, I don't. I don't watch anything in the mornings.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm not a morning person.
Yeah, he's got a new show. 10 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, 9 a.m.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. So and he did great.
It's like on YouTube though, right?
It's on YouTube. Yeah, great impression of George Galloway. He did the other day too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Warren, you got a Biden impression? This is my Biden impression. Ready for this? Oh, I think we're gonna think about the Medicare and the COVID and the Medicare. I'm telling you, a sucker.
Yeah.
So, you got a Biden impression? Look that.
Yeah. Have you seen my Mitch McConnell impression?
Do it. Oh my God.
I'm an asshole.
That is like what? Yeah. When he got seizure, he looked exactly like that, right there.
Yeah.
Like a really tight asshole. His mouth.
Yeah. I wake up in the morning protecting oligarchy.
I do this when Trump wants to fuck my mouth.
Gosh, it's sad what he's considered the middle of the road in the Republican Party these days.
Yeah, middle of the road.
Yeah.
Right, that's where you want to hit him.
Yeah. So, yeah, everyone, please do follow Tommy Nation Politics. He's got great material, great commentary. And by supporting him, you're also supporting independent media, and you're giving us all a place on the table when it comes to independent media, because corporate media is shit, and we all should never ever believe anything the corporate media has to offer, whether it's Fox News or whether it's MSNBC or whatever. They're all the same as far as I'm concerned. And I used to think that there was a difference between Rachel Maddow and Sean Hannity. They're not. They probably even have the same hairstyle. They even have the same hairstylist as far as I'm concerned.
Sean Maddow, Rachel Hannity.
Sean Maddow, I like that. Or Rachel Hannity.
We should make characters like that.
Oh my God, AI generated.
Oh my God, that's a good idea. That's my next video.
Okay, I'm glad I helped you inspire that idea. So anyway, if you all like what you heard, please press like and comment any way you disagree. We'll have a conversation. Feel free to share this content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we are the muckrakers of our time. Reject corporate media, because, as I said, they have nothing to offer us. And please, I'm going to put the information down in a few moments here on the description box when I'm done signing off. But please follow Tommy Nation Politics. I'll have all his information down within the next half an hour. Please follow him and all his platforms: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, Rumble, you name it. Follow him. Also, subscribe to the Willie Bragg Show on all my platforms as well. And to remember, free Palestine. Pardon Julian Assange. He's been free. Now I'm going to say pardon Julian Assange.
Julian Assange. Free
healthcare for all, and free speech absolutism to fight censorship.
Drug test for Congress.
So until next time, folks, I will talk to you all later. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.